Hello, guys and girls listening to this. This is Riha, and this is a card game I've been creating for the last year, and I think it's almost finished. So basically, this video is gonna be like a tutorial. So, um, first of all, usually the game, it has like, well, the build I have right now, like the rules that I have right now. The deck should have like 40 cards at least. But right now I'm just, testing and stuff. So the decks here have like 23 cards and 24. Anyway, as you can see, the game it's kind of like a combination of chess and card games. Like Magic and Pokemon. Like it has different elements of different card games. I enjoyed. Um, but anyway, so let's test the game. So I'm gonna draw 7 cards. I'm gonna zoom. So so as you can see, the cards are red and green, and basically they represent fire and earth. And the opponent, you're gonna see it has other different cards. But anyway, this is my starting hand. So let's see. Um, some of the art like this one I drew it myself, while other art I commissioned it. Um, so yeah, we have, for example, this card is good. It lets you, for example, when you put it on the board and it dies, you can send it back. It has a sorry, grave vengeance effect, which basically means when the card dies, it does something. So when this being dies, you might put it into your seal zone instead of your graveyard. And when it enters the field, it deals 1 damage to the target opponent. That's very good because in this build, in this rule set right now, because I tried with 20 life points, but the games lasted way too long. So right now I'm trying the game with 10 points. So each player has 10 life points. Um, so this card, as I said, is kind of like like aggro. So yeah, this one too. Napo in Peril. So this is also a card I drew. It has Bond of Unity at the beginning of your turn. Something happens. If there is a being next to, or well, not next to in an orthogonal slot, what does orthogonal mean? So let me tell you. Orthogonal, I'm gonna place it here. Orthogonal means if there is something here, or here, or here, or here, basically next to, in front, or below the card, something's gonna happen. In this case, his effect, it says that Napu Imperial gets +1 in its attacks 1 and 2 until end of turn. Its attacks 1 and 2 are the ones on the left, the ones that say 0-1, 0-1. And I'm going to explain how the game works in a second. Let's just continue checking my cards. I don't know what happened to the others. What happened to the other cards? Oh, that's weird. This has never happened. Oh, okay. So yeah, I think they are there, right? Okay, so yeah, they are here. They just were stacked. So anyway, this is my hand, and I have a lot of things I can do with it. I can try to. Uh, so I have a very powerful card. This one, and as you can see, the mana cost. Well, I said mana because it kind of is similar to Magic. Like the mana system in Magic is very similar to the system in this card game in Zeitgeist. As you can see in the right corner, in the top right corner, there is a number 3. So that means that you can use Seal. Seal is basically, the energies in Pokemon, the mana in Magic, the summoning cost in Yu-Gi-Oh! So basically, you have to have 3 Seal of any color, and a Fire Seal and an Earth Seal. So the cost is 5, but out of those 5, you have to have 1 Fire Seal and 1 Earth Seal, and the other 3 can be of any color. So yeah, it works very similarly to how Magic works. You have to put in Magic, you have to put mana. And here you have to put seal, and you can do that only in the pink squares, in the pink, blocks. So at maximum you can have 6 seal in the seal zone. So these 6 pink spots are the seal zone. You can summon your creatures, your beings. I was gonna say creatures. So creatures are, monsters, Pokemon, beings. In this game, they are called beings. So you can summon them in the red blocks, and in the yellow block I put here, it's the deck. So how do you win this game? Basically, it's like chess. You want to go to the other side of the board and attack your opponent. And yeah, that's it. Basically, you want to destroy your opponent's life points. Each player begins with 10 life points, so that's the objective. So anyway, I have already explained the essential. I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about hazard cards. So right now you can see that this card's name is Draconian Fire, and it says hazard. So basically, if you have a hazard in your starting hand, like also this one, Sprint of Fate, hazards are kind of like trap cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! You can put them. So right now I'm gonna play this one actually. You can put them in your seal zone, but you can put them like this. You can put them, like with the back side, and when they are like this, you cannot, like they give you colorless seal, colorless mana. Let's put it that way. But in this game, what I did is, for example, I don't like. You can see that, for example, Beverly Hill Goblins, you can pay just one seal of any color. It doesn't need to be red. It doesn't need to be fire seal. Uh, for example, to play Napo in Peril, you have to pay one seal, but it's of any color. To play Fire Little, you can also pay just one seal of any color. It doesn't need to be fire. If Usually cards that are one or two sealed, like you can usually just, like it doesn't have a requirement. But when, for example, this one it's 3 seal, right? But it's two normal, like two colorless seal, and you have to pay one earth seal. So yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna play. Right now I have 3 options. I can play Fire Little, I can play Beverly Hills Goblins, or I can play Napo in Peril. So basically, it depends. Do I want to go aggro? If I want to go aggro, I will play Fire Little because it can keep attacking my opponent, and when it dies, it goes to my seal zone. And also, when this card enters the field, my opponent loses one point of life. But I think I'm probably gonna go with Napo in Pearl because it has a Solitude ability. The second ability, it says Solitude. At the beginning of your turn, if this is the only being you control, you draw a card. So I think maybe the effect is too powerful. I don't know. Like it's basically a free draw, so maybe it's gonna be too powerful. But also, the way I see it is, if you don't play Napo in Pearl in the first turn, like it's probably gonna suck later in the game. So it's like a drawback. But anyway, right now I'm gonna do it. So the way it works is kind of like Magic. You just tap, and that means that you have one seal, a colorless seal, because the card is, like you can see what card is in the seal zone. So I can play Napo here or here or here. Um, I think I'm gonna. So I'm supposed to play aggro, but at the same time, I'm not sure. Should I go aggro right now? Ma, one, two. Okay, so now let me explain. I played it here. So now let me explain how the system works. So you have 3 attack options, which are on the left, uh, and it's a 0-1, and you can see there is an icon. It's a scratch icon. 0-1, the second attack option, it's a punch, and 1-2, it's also a punch. So the way it works, the 0 on the left, it means that the seal you need to spend to use that attack option. So usually, at the very least, you will always have one attack option that spends 0 seal. In this case, Napo has 2 0 options. Sorry, it has 2 different attack options that cost 0 seal. And sometimes like you need to use one or the other, because as you can see, some characters have weaknesses and resistances. So obviously, if I see that a character has a weakness to attacks with the punch, I'm gonna try to attack with the punch, right? So that's how it works. And in the other part, in the right side, you have shields, right? So those shields are defense options. And as the attacks, you also have options that you can use for zero seal. You can see that Napo has 0-1, 0-1, and 1-2. Um, so yeah, you can use the options. For example, the 0-1 option, you can use it twice because like it's free. So yeah, like you can use it twice. But if you want to use the third defense option, you will have to pay one seal because it says 1-2. So what does that mean? It means that you have to pay one seal to defend two attack points. That's what it means. But anyway, what else? Okay, so yeah. Also, Napu is one weird being because even though he's only one, like it only costs one seal to summon it. It has three movement. The movement is the little boat, the little boat icon that you can see in the lower left part of the card. So it says three. That means the number of blocks that you can move it. So for example, if I put it here, right? So I can move it 3 blocks. For example, 1, 2, 3. So I could put it here, or maybe 1, 2, 3, or maybe 1, 2, 3, or maybe 1, 2, 3. So I think you get the idea, right? So 1, 2, 3, I guess. If I put it here in this block, most beings can move 2 blocks. So if my opponent summons something here, they are pretty much going to attack my Napo, but I think I should be safe. So I think I'm gonna put it here, and I think that's it. I can't do anything else. So I'm gonna pass my turn to my opponent, who is gonna draw 7 cards. By the way, it's me. I'm also controlling it. So the opponent draws 7 plus 1 because as in most card games, like the first player doesn't draw in their draw phase, but the second player does. So anyway, let's see the hand. Okay, so Surprised Walrus, it's a similar card to the one I just played because it has a Solitude ability that when you only have this being under your control, I mean only this, if you only have Surprised Walrus and no other Force Steel being, you can draw a card. Um, but yeah, so well, that's gonna happen maybe in turn 4, not right now. So this is a hazard. So when you have a hazard in your hand, you're gonna usually put it in the seal zone right away because hazards, as I said, they are trap cards. Like you can put them in the seal zone and use them later. So this is also a pretty good hazard. I had like this. It's very good. It's like in Magic, it's like combat tricks, and this can save you. It says target being gets -2 in the stat of your choosing, except for HP until end of turn. So this is a very versatile card because you can use it to defend or to attack. Because you will see, and also if you pay an extra blue seal, like an extra water seal, you can draw. So I'm gonna I don't really need to see the rest of my hand to know what I'm gonna do. Uh, and that's this is good because so this card it has meditate the second ability at the start of your opponent's turn. If this being didn't attack or move, you gain one life. So this is kind of a very good card against red because red obviously tries to burn or whatever. So I'm gonna play this like this. So and then I'm gonna tap and I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna summon this one, and I'm gonna leave it there because meditate the second ability. I have to it doesn't move. And by the way, the art, uh, I don't know you can see, but it's just like the sketch. Like this is not the final card. Um, but yeah. So I'm gonna leave it there so I can activate meditate at the start of my opponent's turn. Uh, so I'm gonna finish and my opponent's gonna continue. So my opponent draws. Well, I mean, I draw because I'm right now. So this is a very good card because it has trick. Trick is basically what Flash is in Magic. It's or an instant spell in Yu-Gi-Oh. This card may be played at any time, so basically I can play it in my opponent's turn. And the second effect, it says when Ballplar Molkov enters the field, target being gets +1 in any stat of your choosing until end of turn. So basically this creature, this being, sorry, I'm still getting used to all the terms. It lets you, when you attack, and for example, let's suppose I attack with an attack that has 2 attack, right? And my opponent defends with a defense that has, I don't know, 1 defense, and he or she thinks, well, like my card is going to survive because it has two HP. So I use this card, and I can say, okay, so my attack gets +1, so it's gonna kill your being, you know. So you're gonna see it in action probably. Anyway, so let's continue playing. My eye on top, and I can use Napos Solitude effect. It says at the beginning of your turn, if this is the only being you control, draw a card. I'm gonna draw an extra card, and let's see what happens. So okay. Now I don't know if you noticed, but this card is a different card from all the other cards I have. It has a different color. This is from the wind type. For example, the other cards, this is green. This is supposed to be earth. This the red one. It's pretty noticeable. It's supposed to be fire, right? Uh, so right now I only have fire and earth, but I can use this card anyway because, as you can see, it has a 2, but the cost is 2 of any color. So I can use any kind of seal to pay it. Um, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this hazard like this too. So right now I only have 2 seal of any color. So I can do 2 things. I can either play these 2 cards, this Beverly Hill Goblin and Fire Little, or I could pay View from Afar, look at my opponent's hand and discard a card from it. And I think I prefer to leave the small beings, especially the Beverly Hills Goblins, for seal next turn. Oh, also, by the way, yeah, every card can be put in the seal zone. I haven't explained that right. So yeah, any card. It's not like Pokemon, like you have energies or magic, or you have lands. No, here any card is like you can put it in the seal zone as a seal. So I think I'm gonna look at my opponent's hand. Oh, also, by the way, my opponent will uh, have to activate meditate. He or she will have told me that at the start of their turn, they gain 1 life. So they have 11 HP right now. I'm gonna put like a dice, I guess, to like for their life. So where is the D20 here? Okay, so I'm gonna put one here and one here to mark my life too, I guess. And I have 10, and my opponent has 11. Okay, so oh, sorry. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm gonna. So right now, 1, 2, 3. So for example, with Napo, what I could do, and this is very good. Actually, this is a great strategy because Napo will still be the only being I control in my next turn if I play the View from Afar. Also, the card is a Zeitgeist type card. So basically, what Zeitgeist means is it's like a magic card in Yu-Gi-Oh. Like what's the name in Magic? Like a trainer in Pokemon. Like in Magic, it will be like a normal Magic card. I think that's the name, or a spell card. Basically, it's a slow card. Like it's not instantaneous. You have to play it in your turn. If you don't do that, you cannot play it in your opponent's turn. But I'm gonna play it right now. I'm gonna pay 2 of any color. So I tap, and yeah, I'm gonna play it. And they are played. Oh, sorry. These cards are also played here, so I played here, and I have my opponent has to let me see their hand. So let's see what they have. Uh, So let's see what I want to discard from their hand. Okay, so this is their hand, and they have a pretty nice starting hand. So, for example, this tornado is pretty good, but it's gonna be 5 turns until they play it. Uh, and this card, I don't know if you have seen it, but they have a card that says whenever you gain life, put a +1 attack counter on fairy looking for home's first attack option. This means that the first option, this one, I don't know if you can see 2-1. Whenever they gain life, the 2-1 is going to become 2-2, then 2-3, then 2-4, then 2-5. So that means they are going to be able to pay 2 seal to do 4 damage, 5 damage, depending on how many life they gain. And wind, the archetype wind, they gain a lot of life. There are some cards that do that. So maybe I should focus on the card. And right now they don't have anything they can play on turn 2. Well, they can maybe do this, but I don't think they will do that. Since it's a hazard, they are going to put in the hazard zone. So it really depends, like what do you want to do? Maybe if you want to go aggro, maybe I should try to go aggro on them. But on the other hand, like if I go aggro and they put these 2 cards, I think I will lose. So what should I do? Mm. Also, right now there is no graveyard. I haven't implemented a graveyard, so I'm just gonna put the cards. I don't know, maybe here. So this is gonna be the graveyard, I guess, or here. Okay, so this is gonna be the graveyard, I guess. I think I'm gonna go with this one and just expect that they can't play their bigger threats right in the, maybe try to go aggro or something. Okay, so I'm having some trouble putting the cards in their hand. Okay, so I'm gonna discard that. And since I know, well, they have a being, but it's pretty weak, this one. And if they move it, they're not gonna gain life. So I think I'm gonna go aggro on them. I'm gonna try to attack. And this one is also going to my graveyard. And also one other thing that you have probably haven't noticed is, so I can move Napo 3 blocks, right? 1, 2, 3. So I moved it three blocks, and right now Napo is in one of the red blocks, so that means that they cannot summon in that red block. So once you get there, it's probably going to be harder for them to summon because you have occupied one of their blocks. Actually, yeah, I think that's fine. Maybe I should have blocked here. No, that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack, and I don't have any seal right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attack. Oh, sorry. Just going to attack for 0. That means I can use either the first or second attack option, the ones on the left. But it's the same because there's no, like, it's the same. 0-1, 0-1 is the same, and like there is no difference. Like it's the same basically. So I'm just gonna attack, and they had 11 life points, so it's gonna go to 10 because I just dealt 1 damage to them. And as I said, I think this is pretty cool because Napo is still the only being I control, so I'm gonna have the Solitude effect next turn unless they kill Napo. But I don't think they will because we just discarded their hand and we know what they can do right now. But anyway, I'm gonna pass turn and let's see what they do. So they draw 1 card. Okay, so actually they just draw a 2 seal cards, so they're probably gonna play it, and they're probably gonna try to kill my being. So obviously they will play the hazard. What was okay? So now they have 2 hazards, same as me. I am gonna play the two being card. Actually, and this is very important, in this game, it's very important that you know how to move and stuff like that. So right now, Petit Angel, I don't know if you can see, it has different attack options from Napo, for example. So these are long range attacks. The brain is like a psychic attack in Pokemon, and the second attack is a bow, like the bow, like an arrow and bow. So those are long ranged attacks. What does that mean? It means that they have to attack from one block of distance. So right now, Petit Angel can attack my creature, my being Napo, but I cannot attack uh, the angel because like Napo doesn't have long range attacks. It has a punch and a scratch, which are physical attacks. Um, so I think what they're gonna try to do is kill my being. Let's see if they can. So, but I mean, it's not super important. I think for them, like if they play the long game, they are gonna win. But anyway, so they're gonna summon this one. So they put it here. They pay 2. This thing can move. So they don't have any extra seals. So, and Napo does it have? Napo has a weakness for punch. Luckily, neither of their cards have a punch option. So they are going to attack because it's free to attack. They have nothing to lose. So they are probably going to attack my. And right here there is a block distance. So there is because they are using their 0-1. It's like a magic one, like a magic staff. That means it's also a long range attack. So it's gonna deal 1 damage, but I can just defend. Actually, I can defend both their attacks. So they might as well not attack. Like they are probably should have defended, but maybe actually they if like they it's dumb to attack because I can just defend. So I think they will try to maybe move their cards here and defend a little bit. And yeah, they wouldn't attack with Petite Angel because if they attack okay, so let's suppose they attack with 0-1. Napo has 2 0-1 defenses, so he's gonna block both attacks. So they don't attack at all. Meditate is gonna take effect next turn. And I'm also gonna draw an extra card. As I said, I think maybe this card is too powerful now that I think about it. It's too broken. So anyway, they gain 1 life point. And it's my turn now. So I draw a card. And oh, so this is the most powerful red card, I think. And also, I haven't explained, but in the lower part, you can say the name. You can see the name of the set. It's supposed to be called Initio, and Initio, and is the initials are INT. This card is the 70 out of 72. Although maybe there are going to be more cards, I'm not completely sure. And it has an S. S, it means super rare. It's the most rare kind of card in the set. So anyway, as you can see, this card costs 3 seal of any kind and 2 fire seals. So right now I only have on color seal, but I can activate these cards maybe in the future, hopefully. But right now I don't have any kind of color seals, so might as well start putting something. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this in my seal zone, and I'm gonna explain a type of ability I haven't explained. So this card has Mount, which right now I'm not gonna explain. Is the longest ability, and it's so long that I didn't include the text in this card, but it's super long. But Seal Bond, the second ability, Seal Bond means that you can activate something if this card, and only if this card, is in your seal zone. If it's not in your seal zone, you cannot activate the Seal Bond ability. So anyway, if this card is in your seal zone, you can pay 2 on colorless seal and 1 fire seal and tap this card. And it says tank RPG deals 2 damage to target being. So yeah, it's a pretty nice ability. It deals 2 damage, which is it's very good. Um, and also if but if you play this card as a being, like as a like a monster or a creature, whatever you're gonna call it, as a being, you can use the other abilities. But anyway, I'm gonna play this as my seal. I'm gonna put it here. So now I have a fire seal and 2 colorless seal. Also, I think I forgot to draw my extra card. In a normal game, I will have lost the timing, but I'm gonna draw an extra card because of Napo's Solitude ability. So right now I have like a couple of cards that I could use to create um like a little combo. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna summon Drake of Malkavik's. I'm gonna pay 3. So I'm gonna summon it here. And as you can see, it has 3 different kinds of attacks. The first and second one are 0-2. So basically I pay 0 seal and I do 2 damage. And obviously the higher the cost of the cards, the more damage and defense they have. And the third attack, it's an elemental attack. So it's also long ranged. Like I have to attack from 1 block. Um, so let me explain how long range attacks work. Let's suppose this well not let's suppose Draco Malkavips it's in this block, right? So it could with its long range attack, it can attack something that is here or here or here or here or here or here or here. So it has to be 1 block away or maybe like something here, right? But it cannot attack something that is next to it, behind it, or in front of it. That you can only do that with physical attacks, not with long range attacks. So one, two, oh, and it has 2 movements, so I cannot attack my opponent right now. What should I do? Should I maybe move Napo? The thing is that he's gonna start, he or she's gonna start gaining life every turn because they are probably not gonna move their Petit Angel and they're gonna keep using their meditate ability, which is very bad against our deck. So I want to kill this thing. Weakness. So but I can't. Like there's nothing that I can do to kill it right now. So maybe might as well retreat a bit, move Napo back, try to build my try to build um, my game. And actually I remember that they have some powerful cards. So hopefully I don't lose. But anyway, I'm gonna retreat. I'm gonna go back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, yeah. And I'm gonna put my card here. And Napo has a Bond of Unity ability, so that means that if there is some like a being next to it, actually remember next to it, in front of, or behind it, he's gonna gain +1 in attack once and two next turn. So I think that's the only thing I can do. Let's see what our opponent does, and he or she draws. So they drew this, not too exciting. So, but they have to start to play. Um, they don't have anything for turn 3. Yeah, no, they do. So, okay, what's this? I don't know what I did. Okay, so yeah, it's this. So they might want to start putting some cards. So, for example, they probably will put this, even if it's like a 5 seal creature, seal 5 being. This one is good in the seal zone too. It has a seal vulnerability, which basically for 3 you can give one other being +1 in any of its attacks or defense options until end of turn. So that's pretty useful. So let's see. Let's put it in the seal zone. So this thing is in the seal zone, and they now have 2 seal of no color and a wind seal. So what they can do is they cannot play Water Being because Water Being Cost 2 plus a water seal, and they don't have a water seal right now. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna play Master Puppeteer, because you know. Actually, yeah. Well, they're gonna play Master Puppeteer, but are they gonna try maybe to kill our being? Mm. So yeah, this is interesting because they could try to kill our being if they go aggro. So anyway, they are gonna summon the Puppeteer. They pay 3, and now they have a lot of options. They can try to attack. Uh, our Draco Malkavips has weaknesses and resistances, but yeah, like let's see what they can do. Uh, and also all of their attacks are long range attacks. So let's see what they can do. Actually, we could use. Oh no, no, we could have tried to use retreat, but this can only be activated at the start of my opponent's turn, so we lose the timing. So I think our Drake might die if they attack. So anyway, they don't have any seals, so let's see. Okay, so this thing attacks. So it deals 1 damage. And also, I don't know if you noticed, but these creatures, these beings have different defense options. These defense options were in the beta of the game, but I just decided to change so they only have shields right now because in the playtesting, like the extra defense options were a little bit too tricky for the players. So I decided to drop them right now. They might return, or I might put some of these different defense options in the future, but right now they just seem like they complicate the game a lot. So yeah. Um, let's see. So yeah, they are gonna attack for 0 and do 1 damage. And so let's see. I mean, there is no point in defending because either way, my opponent is gonna kill my Draco Malkovich, which sucks. Um, I should have maybe used my retreat at the start of my turn, but I lost. I lost timing. But the good news is that Napo is gonna be. If they kill my Drake, Napo is gonna be the only being I control at the start of my turn. So I'm gonna activate the Solitude ability. So that's nice. But anyway, they attack for 0, so they do 1 damage. I I can choose not to defend. Um, because like I can only yeah I don't have any seals, so I can only defend what with my first defense option 0 for 1 defense because I don't have any seal. If I had seal, I could defend with the second defense option, the second shield, or the third option, but I don't have any seals, so I guess I'm just gonna take the damage. Should I? Uh, I guess. I mean, there is nothing I can do. This card is gonna kill my card anyways. Um, so yeah, I take the damage. I guess whatever. They move and they attack, and my dragon gets killed. Like there is nothing I could do. Even if I defended, let me show you. Even if I defended with my first defense option, I defend for 0, which means I have 1 defense point. Against there's 2 attack, like 2 minus 1. It's 1, and I had already taken 1 damage from this attack, so I lose my 2 HP. So my card dies, my dragon dies. Poof. Um, what else? Also, there is another thing that the wind archetype has, and some cards of green too of earth. They have the manipulate effect, and I'm gonna read it. It says at the beginning of your turn, you may choose a target being you control. If you do, Master Puppeteer gets a +1 attack counter in any attack option. That being is not able to move, attack, or defend this turn. So manipulate is basically you pick another card, and that card cannot do anything uh, that turn, basically. So you might be saying, well, that sucks, but when you take into account that some cards have also the meditate ability, it's pretty cool because manipulate you can manipulate a card like Petit Angel with meditate, and like it's win-win because meditate to activate meditate you cannot attack or move that being. So it's like a combo. You activate manipulate on a card with meditate. The card with manipulate is gonna gain that effect. So next turn, my opponent can activate manipulate at the beginning of their turn. They are gonna probably choose Petit Angel. Petit Angel cannot move or attack or I think defend that turn. Um, and they're gonna gain the ability of manipulate, and they're gonna gain the meditate effect. So they are building a very powerful combo. Even though I think I did well, like taking this card because if they keep gaining life, this card will eventually be very powerful. But anyway, gonna go next my turn. I think that's all they can do. They don't want to move this card because they want to gain life. So they gain life. My opponent tells me, you know what? I activate meditate. 12. And also, oh no, manipulate this card says at the beginning of your turn, so they cannot activate it right now. So I'm gonna draw one, and also because Napo again, it's my only being. This has proven to be kind of very kind of broken. Maybe I should like include an extra something like you lose one life or you have to pay one seal or something because right now I have drawn like three cards with this ability thing. But anyway, I activate Solitude, so I draw an extra card. Okay, okay. So this card I really like it. The art is pretty good, I think too. But also what this card does is, and I don't know if you have noticed, but these some of the cards give two different kinds of seal, kind of like in Magic, like the lands that give two different mana. This either gives fire or wind kind of seal. But the drawback is that they enter the seal zone tapped. And that's something that I consider maybe changing because these are supposed to be uncommon, like not super common cards. They are uncommon. I don't know if you can see in the lower left side, it says 25 out of 72. You means uncommon. Um, so yeah. Anyways, what I'm probably gonna do is, damn it, what should I do? I should put this one. Oh, also this one enters the seals on tap too. So yes, as you can see, like I don't know. I think I should probably change that. Um, but yeah, right now, let's see, what should I do? Uh, so this is a very good card. It's rare. And when this card it has trick, basically like flash in Magic. And when this card enters the field, you may add X +1 to any stat of target being until end of turn. So basically, you can pay four and just summon this card. Nothing happens because X is 0, right? But if you pay 5, X is 1, and if you pay 6, and 6 is basically the maximum cost that you can pay. Anyway, right now, the way I have made the game, because remember, you can only have 6 seal in total. You can only have 6 because there are 6 seal zones. I plan to maybe add some effects that let you, like mana in Magic, like the elves in Magic that give you extra mana and stuff like that. Maybe, but I haven't created any card like that. But maybe in the future. But right now, 6 seal is probably the maximum cost that you can pay. Uh, but anyway, what should I do? Right now, I think I should start maybe putting this thing here, even if it enters the field tapped. And maybe I should try to activate one of my cards here. Um, um, what should I do? Maybe I should try to attack. Can I kill any of their cards? So well, the Master Puppeteer has weakness for punch, and they don't have any seal. So I think I'm pretty sure I can kill the Master Puppeteer, and then next turn when they try to attack me, I can just not play anything, and then next turn I can maybe activate this card, and it's gonna add one counter to my being, so to Napo, and I can move it so they not don't attack it. So I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to kill their creature, but I think I will need to pay. But yeah, I think that's. Oh no, because this costs 3. Damn it! If this card didn't enter the field tapped, that would have worked. What should I do? Actually, I can do other thing. Okay, so I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna attack the puppeteer with the second attack option, which is a punch, and they are gonna defend for 0, so it's 1. But they are weak to my punch, so Napo deals 2 damage against their 1 defense. And remember, even though you see different defense options, that was in the beta. I just haven't changed the cards, but they are normal defenses. They are all shields. So basically, they defend for 1, and I do 2 damage because they are weak to my punches, to punches attacks, right? But if I do 2 damage and they defend 1, that means that they are gonna take only 1 damage, and they have 2 HP, as you can see. So they will not die. Their card. And also, this isn't. Maybe I should have been clearer. This isn't like Magic in that they return to their, like they only lose that HP or whatever for that turn. No, here is like more like Pokemon. Like you put counters, you put maybe dice, but the HP doesn't go back to the original HP every turn. No, that's not how it works here. Um, but anyway, I'm gonna. So basically, that's what will happen right now. I attack with 2, my opponent defended with 1, so 2 minus 1, they will have 1 HP, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap, and I can do 2 things. I can activate this, mm, but I don't think I want to. I'm just going to use Paul Blart, sorry, uh, and play, because this has streak, remember? So this is how it works. I'm gonna play it. I pay 3, and this is a very strange card because usually cards that cost 3 seal, they have like you have to have a specific seal type, but this one doesn't. This costs 3 seal of any color, um, and it enters the field. And when it enters the field, target being gets +1 in any stat of my choosing until end of turn. So obviously the stat I choose is the second attack option because that's the one I attacked with. So now, Napo has 0-2 in the second attack option, right? And my opponent's Master Puppeteer is weak to punches, so it's +1 damage. That means that Napo's second attack, the punch, it's a 0-1 +1 until end of turn takes to ball plart, and my opponent is weak to punches, so that means it deals 3 damage, and my opponent only defended for 1 damage. That means 3 minus 1 equals 2, and that means they die. So Master Puppeteer just died. Poof. So I think right now the field is kind of even. Um, let's see what they do in their next turn. But actually, I haven't moved my ball part, so I think I'm gonna move it here because let me check. At the beginning of your turn, there is a being you control in an adjacent orthogonal. So yeah, I can either move it here or move it here. But the thing is, if I move it here, I risk it being attacked next turn because obviously my opponent can put like something here and they can attack very easily. But if I put it here, it's very unlikely that they're gonna be able to attack unless they summon a card with long range attacks and they can attack. But anyway, I'm gonna put ball plot here and let's see what happens in their turn. So I'm gonna give pass turn. And I don't know if you have noticed, but yeah, this is a long game. This isn't like Magic or Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh. Like those games are pretty fast compared to this. Um, so they drew Sphinx of Tusk, which is a very nice card, but I think they want to play a little bit slower. They probably want to play slower, and also this card is it's one of their most powerful cards. Similarly to the dragon I have in my hand, this is also very powerful. Um, so they want to play Surprise Walrus because it has Solitude, and if it's the only four seal being they control, they draw a card. So they are gonna put this. No, 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 not this one. This in their seals. No, not this one. Sorry, this in their seal zone because they needed one water seal. They didn't have any water seal. As you can see, they have two hazard cards that they don't provide any color right now. So that's why they needed to put the water seal. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna summon that being to the field. Just give me a second. I'm trying to connect something here because my computer is dying. But right now it's okay. So I plugged the charger. So yeah, they have four, so they're gonna pay for one, two, three, three, four, and they're gonna summon the surprise walrus. And they're probably I don't know if you have noticed, but they're like defending a bit because the deck, the water and wind archetypes are more like defending a little bit, maybe attacking sometime to gain life, and you know, if they had this card that I discarded, they will probably be trying to make it stronger. But anyway, so they can move and do some taps. Um, Actually, haven't really explained how this card works. It's pretty nice because it has monomyth, and monomyth, what it means is something happens whenever you attack. That's what monomyth means. Every time this is being attacked, you may pay one. If you do, you gain one life. And also retreat. Retreat means that the card can move in the opponent's turn, but only at the start of their turn. So you have to make the decision of moving the card at the start of your opponent's turn. So basically, it means that you can use it to go back, so this card doesn't get attacked. But usually retreat because it's a very powerful ability. You can only use it paying one cost, or if you did something during the last turn, something like that. So this card can only activate retreat if they gain life last turn, which they are not gonna be able to because they have to pay one seal to gain life. But anyway, I think they should probably move the card back. I don't think maybe they can kill Napo. No, they cannot kill my Napo. They could attack. Well, actually, no, because they will only do one damage. Mm, so yeah, I think the best course of action for our opponent will be to go back, try to build their resources a little bit more. They have two cards with Solitude. Um, and actually, if I hadn't killed their master puppeteer, they probably could manipulate either the surprise walrus or the petite angel. So that's pretty good. I killed it. Um, so I don't think there's anything else they are gonna be able to do. But next turn they are gonna draw an extra card, and right now they're gonna gain an extra life point. So it's gonna be a little bit rough. I have to start maybe trying to attack. My deck is supposed to be attacking. So anyway, they're gonna pass turn. There is nothing they can do. Also, I'm gonna explain something. I think the card was here, right? I think this card was here, and you might be thinking, well, right now there is nothing they could have done. But let's suppose they had an extra seal and they wanted to attack. Once they tap the card and attack, they cannot move this card. Okay, so either you move the card and then attack, but like once you attack, for example, let's suppose they attack, they cannot move it. Okay, so first you can move it and then attack, but once you attack, you cannot move it. I hope that made sense. So anyway, they put the card here, right? And they are gonna finish the turn. So it's now my turn. I'm gonna draw a card. So I drew a card, and this one, I'm just gonna put it in the seal zone. Actually, I have too many fire cards in the seal zone, but that's okay because I can activate the card, my strongest card. Where is Matador? Where the heck are you? I cannot find it. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in the seal zone, and okay, so let's see. I have 5 seal and 3 is fire seal, so I can play my Bringer of Violence Dragon right away. And what this card does is it can build a lot of different combos. Um, every time this being attacked, you may put the top card of your deck in your seal zone. Basically, this means that you can put a card in your seal zone from the top of your deck, but it gets destroyed at the end of turn. But for example, you have Playful Dragon. Playful Dragon, when it enters the field, you can return a card from your seal zone to your hand. So basically, you can make some fun combos with this. Or for example, Fire Little, when it dies, it goes to your seal zone. Uh, so you can like maybe return that card, etc., etc. You know, like there's some combinations that can be done. But anyway, I'm gonna play my Bringer Violence Dragon. Although I know that they have the Tornado. And the Tornado is a very powerful card. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they might be able to put it like summon it next turn if they have a Wind Seal. So I might have to be careful, but um, still, I don't think Bringer of Violence Dragon could die to their attack. So I'm just gonna put it. I'm just gonna summon it, and I think I should start attacking. Uh, Especially this thing because if I don't attack Surprise Walrus, they're gonna start drawing each turn. That's gonna be very bad. 1, 2. Actually, you know what? What I can do? It's I could move Napo 1, 2, 3, and force them to move either this card or this card if they want to summon their Tornado. Because I don't know if you understand, but if Napo is here, they don't have a block to summon. You know, they don't have anywhere where they can summon. So if they want to summon next turn or use a Zeitgeist card, they will have to move either this card or this card. So maybe that's an option, and I can try to attack them because right now how much life points they have? 12. And 1, 2, 3. This moves 3, so 1, 2, 3, and I can also attack or 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So I think I'm gonna start attacking. Let's see what happens. So yeah, I'm gonna move Napo. Maybe Napo is gonna die next turn, but I think it's gonna be okay. So I'm gonna attack for free. So it deals 1 damage. So 11. I'm gonna move my Bringer of Violence Dragon. Um, 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna attack for 0. You know, attacking is always good. Like it's if it's free and like like it's free to attack, so it's always good. So I deal 2 damage. So 11 goes to 9. Okay. Now where should I move my ball plart? I could move it here, or I could move it here. I think I'm gonna move it here just to give my opponent less opportunities to attack my dragon and stuff like that. And I think that's gonna be it. Next turn, I should probably either use Torino or maybe start activating my hazard cards. So I have some options. Uh, but I think that's it. That's probably it. Let's see what they do. I don't think I am forgetting anything. So yeah, let's see what my opponent does now. I'm gonna pass my turn. They draw a card. So they have different options to activate. Okay, so for us, this is good because, and this is what happens when they don't have Um, so right now they don't have in their hand an extra seal that is wind type. So as you can see, Mr. Tornado, which is a very powerful card, it costs three seal of any nature of any color, but it also costs two wind seal, and they do not have two wind seal in their seal zone. They have water being, which is a water seal. They have strong blizzard bird, which is a wind seal, but they have water and wind, so they do not have to wind seal to act to summon Mr. Tornado. They cannot summon Mr. Tornado this turn. What they probably want to do is activate this hazard, and when you activate a hazard, it stays in the seal zone. So that's why hazards are very powerful, especially in the later parts of the game, because you only have, remember, you only have six spaces to put cards in the seal zone. So it's important that you have a mixture of hazards and seal bond abilities like a strong blizzard bird. Because if you put, for example, water being, once you put it in the seal zone, it's probably going to stay there unless you have cards that can return cards from your seal zone to your hand. But those cards are usually from the red archetype. Like I think the one they killed, Drake of Malkavips, you can use retreat, and to use retreat, you can return a card from your seal zone to your hand, uh, which it looks like a drawback, but in advanced stages of the game, like it's a very good ability because you can return a card that you want to use and stuff like that. So yeah. But anyways, they cannot activate the card they want. They cannot summon Mr. Tornado right now. So they're probably gonna, if they summon a Spins of Tusk, it costs four. So if they summon, even though Spins of Tusk is a very powerful card, if they summon it, they are gonna lose Surprises Walrus ability. Actually, they haven't activated. So Solitude, at the beginning of your turn, if this is the only four seal being you control, draw a card. And I think it's the only four seal being they have, right? Yeah, they have a two cost being and a four cost being and a one cost. So they only have a Surprised Warriors. They are going to activate the Solitude ability. And also, they lost the trigger. Well, actually, I'm playing this, so I lost the trigger of their second ability. When Surprise Walrus enters the field, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. I forgot that trigger. That was dumb of me. But anyway, I'm going to draw an extra card, and it's another water. So they need a wind seal to be able to play Mr. Tornado, and that's the interesting thing of this game. Uh, it's very easy to summon the first couple of cards because they don't have the restrictions. But if you, and that's a drawback I wanted to put in the game, because I have been thinking, what if you can activate this? Like, what if I can reveal this card whenever I want, and I can just use it as seal? I think no, I have been thinking about it, but yeah, I think the rule right now it says that you must activate the hazard in order to reveal it. Like you cannot just um, you know reveal the card and use it as seal. Once it's set, you have to activate it. So you have to pay to activate it. You can pay the same card. Like you can use this one and this one. For example, to activate this cost, its cost is one of any color, so this one, and one win seal. So basically, you can use the same card to activate its effect when you reveal it. So I don't know why it's like that. Okay, so I think they probably want to activate this card. Like they might want to summon either I Can Love or uh, either Aika or May or Mermaid of Meller. Mm, one, two, three. Um, so what I would do is I'll probably just put I Can Love here, and it enters the field tab because it gives water and earth mana. Sorry, mana seal. One, two, three, four, five. So yeah, they're gonna probably. But also remember, in order to move something, and also that's why I put ball player here, because if I put it here, they it's very difficult for them to. For example, they will have to move. this card, um, like I put ball. Sorry, I am having trouble saying the name. Ball plart. They will have to move this card here, and if they move this card here, it can only attack the dragon, which is not gonna do anything because the dragon, like, it's very powerful. Actually, it has the dragon has a weakness to bow attacks, so it's gonna deal some damage. Uh, but basically, what I'm trying to say is that Bowplar is blocking my opponent from moving freely. That's why I put it here. And this is something interesting about this card game that I created. I think because it combines some of the things from chess or other board games. Um, but yeah, basically, I'm limiting my opponent's, you know, decision makings by putting Bowplar here. So let's see what my opponent does. Even though I am the opponent, and also, if they summon the mermaid here, let's suppose they move here and they put the mermaid here, they won't be able to move the mermaid this turn. So yeah, like things are getting a little bit complicated on our opponent's side. And just because I put ball player here, if I had put ball player here or here, they will be able to move a lot more. But anyways, or maybe they want to draw. Maybe they want to move the walrus and attack the dragon. Maybe they want to kill the dragon or try to kill the dragon. So they have two options actually. And the thing that sucks is that this card, Unlikely Rescue, is more useful as a defense option. So they might want to activate Brain Freeze, pay 3, and with Brain Freeze they might maybe kill my dragon. It depends. So let's see what they want to do. Okay. So I think I'm going to, because I'm playing as the, what's the. So they attack, they move, they attack my dragon because this is a long range attack. They can only attack the dragon, and they attack with the bow, the second attack. The second attack deals 1 damage usually, but my dragon is weak to bow attack. So that means that bow attack, it's 1 + 1 extra damage. So I can choose to defend or not to defend. And in this case, I'm gonna defend. So I use my first defense option. So that means I defend for 2, and I could activate Monomyth because every time this card defends for the first turn, I might put a card, but I don't see the point. I cannot do anything, so I'm not gonna activate Monomyth. So anyway, I defend for 2, so I take 0 damage. Now they can attack with the other cards. They actually could kill my dragon pretty easily, now that I think about it. But that also means that I will be able to kill most of their beings next turn. So it depends what they want to do. They have 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 4 seal. So they actually one. No, I don't think there's a way they could kill my creature, my being. Oh no, well actually yeah. If they pay, and that's probably what they want to do. So they attack with the attack that makes 2 damage, and I don't have any defense options, so I take 2 damage. No, 3 damage. Normally I'll be using dice, so I take 3 damage. That means that my card has 1 HP, and I cannot defend because I don't have any seal options left. So that means my card has 1 HP left, and they move their surprise walrus. Also, they should pay 1 because anyway they won't be able to do anything, so they pay 1. and they activate the Fairy of the Arps monomyth. It means it does every time this being attacked, you may pay one. If you do, you gain one life. So they go from 9 to 10, and Surprise Walrus attacks with 1, so they do 2 damage. Actually, they can just, that was a mistake on my part, so they can just attack with 0 and make one do 1 damage, and my dragon is gonna die anyways because I only have 1 HP left. So, well, there goes my dragon. But next turn, I could very easily kill a lot of their beings because they have 1 seal of 1 seal to defend. So anyways, they had to move their Petite Angel finally, so they're not gonna gain 1 life next turn. And it's my turn. So let's see what I can do. I draw a card. I untap everything. So I could activate the Seal Bond ability. It basically costs 4 and it does 2 damage to target being. Any being, like in any part of the field. So that's a pretty nice ability. But they can also defend the damage. But yeah, let's see. Actually, how much they have 10 life points. So let's see what I can do. Um, I really want to kill this thing because if it keeps, if it continues, they are gonna continue drawing. So it has a weakness to a sword, and my Bowplar has a sword attack. So I might want to. Can I kill the 3 of them? Let's see if I can kill the 3 of them. Mm, maybe actually I want to put Playful Dragon and return Tangar JPG. Mm, and maybe I want to put Fire Little because Fire Little, when it dies, it goes to my Seal Zone. Um, let's see, what should I do? I think I'm gonna put this in my Seal Zone because I don't have any green in like to activate abilities. And can I kill the Petite? I think I can kill the Petite. Well, actually, no. If they pay 1, the Petite survives. So, but they know that I can activate a lot of other stuff. So, let's see. Let's see. Do I have any other Silbon ability? Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move Bolt Plart a little bit. I'm gonna attack with its sword option, which I'm gonna pay 1 for. So I just paid 1 to do 2 damage, but the Surprised Walrus has a weakness to sword, so the 2 attack becomes 3, and they can either they can do 3 options. They can, but 1 will be dumb because they can choose not to block. But if they choose not to block, Surprised Walrus is gonna die because it receives 3 damage automatically, like directly, and it has 2 HP, so it dies. The second option is using the first defense option, which will be 1. So 3 minus 1 equals 2, and it will continue. It will have 1 HP left. And the third option is choosing the second defense option because they have 1 seal here. They can use that seal to defend, and they will defend 2. That means that I will do 3 damage minus 2 equals 1. So they will have 2 HP left. So I don't know what the opponent will do. They know that I have a lot of options because I have 5 seal and like I can do plenty of stuff. And they also know that I have Napo. So if they defend, Napo is probably gonna be able to attack. So like it depends what they want to do. Uh, so if I were in their shoes, I will probably defend with the second defense option just to be safe, and that's what I'm gonna do in their place. So they defended with one, and they have two defense. So 3 minus minus 2 equals 1. Now I can do some other stuff uh, because I really want to kill the surprised walrus, and I think I'm gonna let's see, what do I want to do? I could maybe play Torino. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's only gonna give it +1, so it's not gonna be able to kill surprise walrus. Mm, I think I'm gonna. Mm, what should I do? Okay, so it's gonna have 1. Then Napo attacks with 1, 2. Okay, so I'm gonna activate Draconian Fire, and what Draconian Fire does, I'm gonna pay 2. Actually, well, it's the same, I think. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. So I'm gonna activate this. So I paid 1 mana, one seal of any color and a fire seal to activate Draconian Fire. And what it does is it deals two elemental damage to target being. And I'm gonna choose Surprised Walrus. And my opponent can, like choose not to block, but if they don't block, Surprised Walrus dies, which will be dumb. So they're gonna choose to block for 0, and they cannot use the same defense option twice in the same turn. So right now they don't have any defense option they can use. So Surprise Walrus defense with 1 takes 2 damage. So 2 minus 1 equals 1. So right now they only have 1 HP left, and it's an easy decision. I'm gonna use Napo. I'm gonna attack with my punch because if I attack with the scratch, Surprised Walrus has -1. It has resistance against scratch. But anyway, Surprise Walrus just died. And actually, wow, I had to use a lot of cards in order to kill it. Kind of surprised. And now I have 3 seal, so that means I can put. I'm gonna put 2 different cards actually, or maybe I could. Mm, so right now I have 1, 2. Because Beverly Hills Goblins is a very powerful card once you have. Like, it's good from the get go, but if you have a lot of different beings, its kinship ability. Kinship means that for each other being you have under your control, something happens. And Beverly Hills Goblins gets +1 in its first attack option for each other being. So that means right now I have 2 other beings. I will have like a lot of attack. I will have a 0-2 attack, which is pretty nice. And if I summon another card, like, it will have 0-3, and like so on. So what I'm gonna do is I should probably put Playful Dragon and return. I could either return Tank RJPJ, sorry, or Draconian Fire. It depends on what I want to do. But I think I'm gonna go with Tank RJPJ because I know they have a very powerful card. They might be playing it next turn. So I'm gonna play Playful Dragon, pay 2, and I'm gonna use its ability. When Playful Dragon enters the field, you may return target card in your seals onto your hand. I'm gonna go with Tank RJPG. Sorry. So yeah, and I'm also gonna actually wait. It has 2 movement, 1, 2. So what should I do? Should I go? Should I move it here? Because if I move it here, this thing can attack it, the Fairy of the Harp. And what's its weakness? Its weakness is bow, so this thing can also attack it. So 1, 2. Maybe I should move it here just to be safe from the bow attack. Actually, Fairy of the Hour also has a bow attack, 1-2, 1-2, but yeah, it cannot reach the Playful Dragon. I should be more careful because the weakness of the bow is they both had bow attacks. And I have an extra one seal, so I'm gonna put my Fire Little, and Fire Little, when it enters the field, it deals 1 damage, so they go to 9. Actually, I don't know if you have noticed, but they have gained like 3 HP or 4 maybe with this pesky card, Petit Angel. If they didn't have Petit Angel, I might have been able to go Berserker on them and just attack them directly. And maybe I could have, won the game already. I don't know. They basically have won, gain 3 HP with this card, I think. Um, so I moved Playful Dragon, but I haven't moved Fire Little. And Fire Little, it's a good card, I think, because when it dies, it goes to your seal zone. Well, you may put it in your seal zone. And basically, what I want to do is I don't want to put anything else in my seal zone right now, and I just want to have Fire Little, like, oh, what happened? No, Fire Little. Sorry. I'm gonna put it here. Damn it. And see what happens. I think it's good, as I said, because if they attack it, it's gonna go to my seal zone. Like, it's not the strongest card ever or whatever, but it's pretty, like, how can I say it? Like, it's a pain in the ass, kinda, because if they kill it, it's gonna go to my seal zone. If they don't, I could be attacking them or whatever. So I think that's it for this turn. And also check out, I have 4 different beings. They might kill 1 or 2 the next turn. Like, if they summon the tornado next turn, I'm gonna probably be in some trouble. But I am also, like, I also have 2 powerful cards. So, and yeah, also Beverly Hills Goblin, even if it's a 1 seal card, as long as I have different beings, it's gonna have a very powerful attack that is gonna cost 0. The drawback, as you can see, is that if I don't have any beings, it's pretty much like the first attack is useless because it's 0-0. But if I have different beings, um, it's pretty powerful. So anyway, I'm gonna pass the turn. I think that's the only thing I can do now. That's it, right? 1, 2. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna pass turn. Let's see what they can do. If they draw a wind, so this is a wind seal, and this is also a pretty good card. But I think they're probably gonna use it as a wind seal because they want to activate Mister. Also, but actually, like, I don't think. Okay, so Mr. Tornado, what it does is that you can basically move wherever you want. And also, Mr. Tornado is a very powerful card because it has backup. It's an ability I haven't really explained. So basically, backup, what it does is that this being may be played in an adjacent orthogonal slot to target being you control. What does that mean? This means that I can play Mr. Tornado in any place that is, for example, if I have a being here, for example, I have Petit Angel here, right? So I can play Mr. Tornado here, or here, or here, or here. I can put it anywhere near, next to, or in front of, or behind one of my beings. So, for example, they could play it next to their Lady of the Arp. I think Lady of the Arp is the name. Fairy of the Arp, sorry. They can play it here, 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 or here. Do they have any other being that I haven't? They only have those 2 beings, right? I killed the other. Yeah, I killed the other. So yeah, they can play Mr. Tornado in this spot. So basically, when you have backup, that effect means that you can play the beings outside the being zone, if that makes sense. The red zone is actually, I don't think I call being zone. I'm probably gonna have it, like, I have to call it other way because you also play the Zeitgeist cards there. But let's just call it the being zone right now. So let's see. So I think the first thing they're gonna do is they're gonna put Cat Demon Meow in the seal zone, as I said. Even though it's a very good card, I think right now they just want to play their most powerful. So what did I do? They just want to play their most powerful card probably right now and try to kill as many of my beings. And If they succeed, they might just win the game. Like, Mr. Tornado is a very powerful card, so they are gonna pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They paid 3 on color and 2 wind. So now the question is, what do they want to kill? Actually, they haven't returned their cards to their position. They haven't untapped. Uh, so I think if I were the enemy, the opponent, I will want to kill Bullplard and Playful Dragon, but not really Fire Little. Like Fire Little, if you kill it, it's gonna go back to the seal zone, and that's gonna go like that's gonna go. Sorry, that's gonna be good for the opponent. But anyway, Mr. Tornado, here you go. So, and they can choose to maybe put it here and be more aggro. Uh, they know that I return my tank to my hand, but the drawback with the tank is that it's more of a slow card because you cannot attack with the tank unless you activate its mount ability. So I'm going to explain what mount is in the next turn. But I think if I were them, like I obviously wouldn't put it in the summon zone. I would put it maybe here or here. I'm gonna go with here just because it's a little bit more open, a little bit closer to my opponent. And the effect, it says when this being enters the field, you may choose target being your opponent controls and move it 3 blocks. So basically, what it does is when it enters the field, it's like a tornado. Like the tornadoes attract something, or well, maybe you can also move it to another place. But basically, it's attracting a card. So maybe I can choose this 1, 2, 3 blocks, uh, so I can attack it. And right now, do they have? Yeah, they have 1 seal. So Mr. Tornado could use its 1 seal attack, which is very powerful. And it could probably, yeah, it will kill the Playful Dragon. So yeah, my opponent chooses that. No, actually, they can look. They can do this. They can put it here, and then they could 1, 2, 3. Mr. Tornado can move 3 blocks, and actually, Mr. Tornado could either attack the deck. They could either attack me directly, sorry, or they could attack Playful Dragon. They're gonna attack Playful Dragon. Oh, sorry. So they just attack Playful Dragon, and it's dead. Playful Dragon is dead. They're gonna pay their 1 seal. They pay Playful Dragon. It's dead. What else can they do? So they can basically try to kill my other beings, but I don't think they can, right? Like even if they have two beings, they are not super powerful. Uh, can they kill one of them? Let's see. I think maybe they could kill. No, they cannot. They can. At least Paul Bowplard is not dead. They cannot kill it anyway, right? No, no, because they don't have any seal left. So maybe not even Napo. So yeah, they cannot. They could only kill Fire Little. So, but the question is, do they want to? Actually, they cannot even kill Fire Little with their with their beings, because they are kind of weak. So now the question is, like, what do they want to do? If they keep their beings here, they are probably. I can kill them next turn. I think I'm pretty sure. Maybe. What should they do? Well, because they don't have any seal, they can only activate their 0 attacks, and the 0 attacks do 1 damage, and my beings can defend that damage. Um, what should they do? Well, I'm playing as the opponent, and so uh, I think I'm gonna talk Volplart with both of them. So I'm gonna do it in the correct order. I attack 0, which is 1 damage. Actually, maybe I should move. What should I do? Well, And I'm gonna leave the Petit Angel here because if I don't leave it here, Napo could go here next turn. So they will probably put Napo here next turn and it could attack me or something. And Bullplar, they could put it here. So they will block 2 out of my 3 summoning spots. So I'm gonna leave Petit Angel here, but I'm also gonna attack. So anyway, I attack 0-1 with Failure of the Arp. Bullplar defense 0-1. So basically it doesn't receive any damage. I attack with Petit Angel and Bullplar receives 1 damage, so it has 1 HP left. And I think that's all my opponent can do right now. I think. So I'm gonna pass turn, and it's my turn now. I'm gonna untap. Oh, sorry. So basically, I don't really want to put anything else in my seal zone because if I put something else, uh, when Fire Little dies, like, oh, sorry, like it's not gonna activate its effect to go to my seal zone, so I don't want that to happen. Now, what I can do is I can do 2 things. Basically, I could attack their creatures, their beings, sorry, or I could maybe put Napo here. I could put it here and put Volplar here, and I can also attack the Petit Angel, and I probably will kill it. I can pretty much kill Petit Angel right now, even though it's not like it's not causing a lot of trouble. Maybe I should attack. Maybe I should rush it. Like this is where it gets interesting because maybe I could kill my opponent. Uh, I don't know. What should I do? Where was Bullplar? I don't remember. Was it here? It probably was here, and Napo was what here? I think. I'm not sure. So anyway, let's see what happens. What does this card do under control? So I really want to play this card, but on my like the optimum way to play Sprint of Fate is when your opponent attacks, uh, or yeah, like when they attack, you can activate this card. You add a +1 counter to target being under your control, so you can add it to an attack option. And then, if this card was activated during your opponent's turn, target being can move. So they attack, you move your being, and it's like they weren't attacked. So a Sprint of Fate is more a defensive, like a card for defense than for attacking. Though you can also use it for attacking, but it's not optimal. So what should I do? I think I should play Tank RJPJ. And Tank RJPJ, it has an excellent ability. Like it's not very good at attacking because this has four different effects. It has Mount. I'm gonna explain Mount in a minute. It has Sealbond. It has Tank RJPJ can only move and attack while using its Mount ability, so that's a con. That's very bad. Usually, any being can attack. Uh, so that's very like it sucks. It sucks that it can only attack while using Mount. But its last ability is very good because you pay 1 fire and you tap Tank RJPJ, and Tank RJPJ deals 1 inevitable damage to any target within 2 orthogonal blocks of Tank RJPJ. What does that mean? It means that let's suppose I put Tank RJPJ here. Uh, I can do it right now. I could deal 1 damage of inevitable damage to Mr. Tornado, and but I don't think I can kill it. No, I don't think. Mm, no, I don't think. I mean, but yeah, that's what it does. Basically, I pay 1 fire and I tap my Tank RJPA, and I can deal 1 inevitable damage. It means that you cannot block it. Basically, it's 1 damage that is going to be dealt no matter what, and it says within 2 orthogonal blocks of Tank RJPA. What does 2 orthogonal blocks mean? It means that it can deal damage here, 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 but also here, 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 and here. So it's a super big range. But anyway, I don't think I'm gonna play it right now. I think actually I'm gonna go with another option that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I really don't want to play Seal right now, but I might just want to have to in order to kill Mr. Tornado. Let's see, I can go maybe I can go back and attack with what's so Mr. Tornado has a psychic weakness. I don't think I have anything with psychic, right? No, I don't. But Beverly Hills Goblin, it's a very good card. Right now I will have 1, 2, 3, and maybe if I summon 1, 2, 3, I'm pretty sure I could kill Mr. Tornado. Actually, yeah, let's do this. Okay, so I'm gonna put this card here. I pay 1 green and 1, 2, 3. Yep, I paid 3 because the cost is 2 and a green. And this card basically, if it moves at its third attack option, I don't know if you can see, but its third attack option it's 3 and it deals 5 damage, which is amazing. It's very good. It's very powerful. And right now I could pay. Well, I don't have. I could put another card in the seal zone, and I could basically kill Mr. Tornado, no questions asked, because I could activate Menacing Orc's third attack and deal 5 damage, and Mr. Tornado only has a defense of like the free 0 defense. Um, but I think what I want to do is build my field a little bit more. Uh, so I could play Beverly Hills Goblin and also kill Mr. Tornado by attacking with both Menacing Orc and Beverly Hills Goblin. So what should I do? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna attack with Menacing Orc of Galatia, which is gonna deal 2 damage. So my opponent can do 2 options, can choose between 2 options. They can either not block, which will be dumb. Sometimes not blocking is correct because you know that maybe the opponent can do something else. But I think right now they should block actually. Oh, actually, that's pretty interesting because I almost forgot. Mr. Tornado has a resistance to punch, so I didn't. I have to choose the first attack option because, and this is where attack options are important because you can see Menacing Orc of Galatia has 2 attacks that you think the first and the second attack option are the same. Well, not really because here you can see that the second attack is a punch and the first attack is a scratch. So Mr. Tornado has a resistance to punches. If I had chosen the punch, the second attack, it would have only done 1. So I have to choose the first attack option because Mr. Tornado, like it's resistance to punches. It's resistant to punches. So Mr. Tornado, the opponent chooses to block. So remember, once you block with that defense option, you cannot use it in the same turn twice. So they block 2 damage because they choose 0 to block 2. So Menacing over Galatia did nothing. But now I'm gonna summon Beverly Hills Goblin, and Beverly Hills Goblin, as I said, is very good right now. It's a card that if you put it in the first turns, it's not super good or whatever. But right now it's very good because I have 1, I have 2, I have 3, I have 4 different beings. So I'm gonna attack for 0, and it's gonna cost me 0. It's a very powerful attack. It costs 0 and it does 4 damage. And Mr. Tornado only has 3 HP, so it's gonna die. So as you can see, even low cards, even low cost cards can be because Beverly Hills Goblin is an uncommon card, as you can see. It says you in the lower left part of the card. So even low cards can be powerful if if you apply the correct strategy. And what I'm gonna try to do right now is so I can do 2 things. How much HP does life points? Okay, so my opponent has 9 life points. Uh, and I could maybe pressure them. I could maybe move this, and they will have to move this Petit Angel next turn. to be able to move their summon, because even if they summon something, they are probably not gonna be able to move it unless they move Petit Angel. And also, I'm gonna have one card left, one card in the seal zone to defend next turn. So I think I'm gonna, should I, or maybe what I should do. No, I have a better idea. Oh, sorry. So I have 1 HP, right? And so I have a better idea. I want to maybe try to kill Petit Angel, or maybe kill Fairy of the Arp. Uh, does it has a resistance or a weakness? Actually, now that I think about it, maybe I could kill Fairy of the Arp. So Napo was here, right? Or here, I don't remember. It doesn't matter because I'm gonna move it anyway. So I could kill Petit Angel or Fairy of the Arp. Let me think. Uh, I could choose Poblar's second attack, which is a sword, because Fairy of the Arp has a weakness for swords, and they don't have any seals, so it will die, right? Yeah, it will die. So I'm gonna do that. That's an easy thing to do. Oh, where is Poblar? So I'm gonna attack. Like, sorry, and I'm gonna choose the sword option. So I'm gonna pay my 1 seal I have left. Um, and it's gonna deal 2 damage, but Fairy of the Arp is weak to sword attacks, so it's gonna be 3 damage, and they have no seals, so they can only choose their defense option of 0, and they choose the first defense or whatever. It doesn't matter because it defends 1. So 3 damage minus 1 equals 2, and they have 2 HP, so it dies. So I think I'm probably gonna win the game. A lot of things can happen, right? But I think in a pretty good shape, especially because I have tank RJPJ if things get bad or whatever. Um, so I just attack with Pole Guard. So I can't, maybe, yeah, I can do this. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna put Lapo here, and I'm gonna attack them for 0, so that it's 1 damage. So they have 8 HP. And now I'm gonna be extra. So here, Fire Little, if they want to recover this spot, they're gonna have to kill Fire Little next turn. And I will, if he dies, remember the Great Vengeance effect. With basically, Great Vengeance means when this being dies, something happens. So Fire Little, if it dies, it goes to my seal zone. So that's nice. Anyway, I'm gonna attack. So I can either, damn it. So uh, bad news. Fire Little only has long ranged attacks, so I could maybe put Fire Little. I could maybe leave Fire Little here and attack the Petit Angel, but I think I'm gonna put Fire Little here, even if it cannot attack, because I cannot attack neither Petit Angel or my opponent with Fire Little, because it only has an elemental attack. The first attack is an elemental attack, like fire damage, but it's long ranged. And the second attack is a magic attack, which is also long range. So sadly, I cannot attack with Fire Little, but I'm gonna leave it there because it's gonna occupy one of my opponent's summoning slots or whatever. I still I still need to put some like terminology in the game. But basically, if I put Fire Little, they cannot summon in this block. So that means they only have this block to summon, the one like this with no cards in it, and they will also have to move Petit Angel. Um, and if they end up killing Fire Little, that's good for me, because it goes to my seal zone. So yeah, Fire Little is basically doing what it's supposed to do. It's being a pain in the ass. Uh, I think I'm gonna finish my turn. I don't think there's anything else I am gonna do. So I'm gonna pass turn. Let's see what my opponent draws. They draw. So it's another Fairy of the Arp. So I think my opponent should play Spin of Tusk. Is their best card right now. And also, don't forget that our opponent, although right now I'm dominating in cards, like in beings, they have 2 hazards they haven't activated, and they have a very powerful Seal Bond ability. This Seal Bond, basically, they can pay 3, and also, you can, Strong Blizzard Bird's Seal Bone ability, you can play You can play it any number of times as long as you have the seal required, because it doesn't tap. Like a strong blizzard ability doesn't tap. I hope that makes sense. Like you can pay three two times and you can activate it two times. But anyway, so what they're probably gonna do, our opponent, first of all, Petit Angel on taps and uh, what? They didn't have any other card. Wait a second. They only have Petit Angel. They they only have Petit Angel, right? I think I was confusing. Uh, I'm confused. Didn't they have another card? I think. Wow. So yeah, I'm pretty confused. I thought they had another card, but it seems they don't. So anyway, let's see what they do. They could probably kill Poblar. I'm pretty sure they can, right? So Poblar, yeah, I don't have any seals, so they can just attack for one and kill it. But that doesn't matter a lot, I think. So attack for. Let's see. They could also kill Napo, I think, maybe. Okay, so the good news is that whatever they summon, if they want to attack Napo, they're gonna have to stay there because, like, if it's a long range attack, they have to attack from there. Or maybe they can kill Fire Little. They could kill Fire Little and leave this spot open and then uh, summon something else and try to kill Napo. Um, so let's see what they want to do. What do they have here? This is more for defense. This is very good. This is an excellent. I think this is also. This is one of those cards that I think I may need to reconsider the design. But yeah, anyway, I think what they should do is probably kill Ballplart or maybe Fire Little, because if they kill Fire Little, no, I think they have to kill Fire Little and then they open two slots and they can move freely. But I think killing Fire Little, because I put it there for a reason. It's very like if they summon here, they won't be able to move, so they can only summon that one creature. So they have to kill Fire Little. Uh, and they have to pay one to do it, so they won't be able to summon two cards. Yeah, they won't be able to. They will be able to only summon one. So anyway, they attack with one. They kill Fire Little. Fire Little activates its ability and it goes to my seal zone. So now I have one seal to activate for defending. That might just save me from dying. But anyway, they had to do that. So I think they should probably summon Mermaid of Milair and Fairy of the Arp just to have two different beings and try to kill both Nap or at least damage it. I think they should do that, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, they're gonna summon this thing. They're gonna pay one, two. They're gonna move it, let's say here, because if they move it, actually this thing can move three, right? So this is probably gonna die next turn. It depends, but they choose to attack with zero. It deals. So basically, Bullplard has 1 HP left, so I have to defend. Even if they only make 1 damage with zero, I have to use my defense option. So I choose to use my first defense option. Actually, they will have made a mistake there because I can just choose my other defense option. Let's see. Let me think about it. Mm-mm-mm. actually think they are gonna attack for 2 because since I have this and fire little, it's gonna let me defend. So they have to use. They're probably gonna use the third attack option. Sorry. So they have to pay 2. They deal 3 damage, and basically, like no matter what I do, it's gonna die. So might as well. Actually, no. Wait. Oh no, yeah. Whatever I do, it dies. So yeah, it's gonna die. Okay, so they have 1 seal left, and I think that's gonna be it for them, right? Oh well, they pay 1. Actually, they want to pay 1. Yeah, yeah, they want to pay 1 because like no matter what happens, this card is gonna die next turn probably. Although, well, right now I don't have any other cards, like any other beings. They killed my other beings, so Beverly Hills Goblins' first attack is pretty much useless right now. Mm, so I think they're gonna risk it, and yeah, they're gonna pay 1 life. They gain 1 life with the monomid ability. They go to 9, and next turn they are gonna activate retreat. Remember, Failure of the Arp can only retreat if they gain life last turn. So they're probably gonna retreat because if they don't, Beverly Hills Goblin could actually attack them. So yeah, they're gonna pass turn. Oh, sorry, pass turn. Oh, sorry. And my opponent activates Failure of the Arm. My opponent tells me, you know what, I gained life last turn, so at the beginning of the turn I can activate Failure of the Arm's Retreat, and they are gonna move far from Beverly Hills Goblin. Napo goes back. Well, actually, I had forgotten about Napo, and so I actually have two beings. I forgot about them. I have Napo and the Menacing Orc of Galatia. Menacing Orc, 1, 2. Okay, so I think I want to attack. I want to go and try to attack. I want to end this game fast. Right now, while the opponent is kind of weak, so I'm gonna draw. Excellent. I really like Volplar. I think it's pretty nice. Uh, and uh I'm gonna try. Maybe what should I do? I think maybe I should mount. I mean, I should put tank RJPJ. What's this? Yeah, I should probably do that. 1, 2, 4. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna put my tank RJPJ. Where should I put it? Maybe I should have done something different, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna put it here. And sadly, there is nothing I can damage. Well, not like I could activate the ability, but I'm gonna move Beverly Hills Goblins here. Oh, wait a second. They have a weakness for magic. So if I put it very close, I am risking an attack from Failure of the Arp. So I'm gonna put it behind my other card. I'm gonna put it behind the tank. Although, so basically, I'm gonna tell you why I want to put it next to the tank, because the tank, the mount ability, it means that if you have, let's suppose my goblin is here, right? Damn it! So I played this very badly. This is a mistake in hindsight, and I think I'm gonna replay the whole thing, the whole turn, because I just did something very bad. So basically, Tank RJPJ, what it does, it has Mount. And Mount, it's an ability so long that I only put it in 1 card because it's very long, but it's very easy to understand. Mount, imagine Mount is for vehicles, for objects that you can like transport objects. So Mount, what it does is, if you have a card next to Tank RPG or any card with Mount at the beginning of your turn, you can put them together in the same slot. So I will do this. They are together.
and they move the sum of their movements. You can, so for example, the goblin can move 3 and the tank can move 3, so they could move next turn 6 blocks altogether. But only the card with mount can attack. Actually, tank RJPA has a drawback. The third effect, it says tank RJPA can only move and attack while using its mount ability. That's something I need to change because that doesn't make sense at all. I'm gonna change it to can only attack because otherwise the card is unplayable. Actually, I think I changed it and like it doesn't have the effect as it has it right now in the card because it doesn't make sense. Otherwise, the card wouldn't be able to move. I think I'm gonna change it to only attack. Uh, but yeah, basically that's what mount means. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna replay the whole thing. I'm gonna move my my Beverly Hills Goblins here, and no, actually, I'm gonna move it one, mm, one, three, one, three. I'm gonna move it here, and I'm gonna put the menacing orc here, and hmm, or maybe should I one, two, one, three? I think that's it. I wanted to use Tank RGPA's last effect, but there is nothing I can do because one, two, three. Yeah, there is nothing I can do. One, one, two. Even if it was here, the effect wouldn't reach Petit Angel because it's two orthogonal slots. So that means one, two. So it will deal damage until here, 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 but not here. It doesn't reach. So I'm gonna put it here, and I think I'm gonna end my turn. Oh, actually, I have Napo. I haven't noticed. I hadn't noticed. So I had one seal left. I could kill Petit Angel. Uh, I think I'm gonna do that. I can kill it, right? Like it has only 1 HP. You have no seal. So I'm gonna move Napo 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna attack it. I'm gonna pay 1. He deals 2 damage. Petit Angel only has 1 defense, so it dies. And that's it. And I'm gonna finish my turn now. And I did that because like Napo is here and it's blocking one summoning spot, but the opponent has 2, so that doesn't really matter. So that's my turn, and it's my opponent's turn now. They draw, and they have to Mermaid of Melair and a Sphinx of Tusk. So if I were my opponent, I'll probably mm, what would I do if I were my opponent? I mean, it looks pretty bad for them. I have a very powerful card. Um, the weakness of Tang RJPJ though is magic, and blue has a lot of magic. Actually, they don't have any right now, but blue is all about long range attacks. As you can see, Fairy of the Arp, 1, 2, could deal some damage, but it's far away from my Tang RJPA. So for now, I'm safe. But I think what they should probably do is put Spin of Tusk, activate its ability, and and Speed of Tusk is one of those cards that I think will be very good in a deck that has like a lot of drawing and stuff. But right now, like in this deck, it's pretty sucky. It's pretty bad. Maybe I should change that. But it's one of those cards that if I change something, I think if the game is played competitively or whatever, if they make like standard decks, if you want to call them that, like if I change something about this card, it could be very powerful. So yeah, I don't know. So I could play. I mean, the opponent could play to Mermaid of Melair, but what should they do? they could maybe try to activate 4. So yeah, spin of Tusk is it's pretty bad right now. Mm, pretty bad. Mm, pretty bad. So maybe what they should do is they should probably defend right now, like maybe try to attack Napo. And defend for next turn. And yeah, they could have even. Well, let's see, 1, 2. They could even try to attack. No, well, Tank RJPJ has a lot of defense options. So 1, 2, but they could kill the menacing orc. Probably the weakness is magic, but they don't. So what are supposed to be a lot of magic, but they don't have any right now. Um. So probably what they want to do is kill Napo. That's like they don't really have a lot of plays to do this turn. Uh, so yeah, why not? Let's kill it. I attack for 1. They choose to defend for 1. Mm, then let's see, spin of Tusk whenever you draw cards. So I play spin of Tusk. When it uh when it when it enters the field, you may draw a card and then discard a card. So they're gonna discard Surprised Pelican. This is one of those cards. Look at it. This is one of those cards similar to Napo that if you pick it in the first turn, it's very good because it's basically a free draw. But if you pick it in the later turns, it's like dead weight, so it's very bad. So I'm gonna just discard it. And Spin of Tusk is basically, oh, it costs 4. I didn't pay 4 yet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess. So yeah, basically when you draw, it gets +1 in its third attack option. So I drew. Uh, so yeah, but it's not very useful. I think I need to change the spin of Tusk. It's not very good. Um. So anyway, so Napo choose to defend 0-1, I think. Uh. Actually, that doesn't make much sense because Napo just could defend. Um. That didn't make any sense at all. Uh. Actually. Actually, let's go back because I think that was just dumb because there is no way they could kill. I'm gonna go back. So they summon this thing and let's see if they can kill Napo with it. 3. They attack. Napo defends with 1 and I activate the seal bond. You may pay 3. I'm gonna pay 3 to give one of your beings +1 in any of its attacks. So I activate this ability, the seal bond ability. I pay 3 to give one of my beings +1 in any of its attacks. So I give the, let's suppose this is the first attack, so it's a 0-3 attack. And actually, let me see if I can. Maybe should kill Manasing or Galatia. I should, yeah. I'm gonna, and this is like I said, this game sometimes it has a lot of options. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna kill Menacing Orc of Galatia. I think it's better than to killing Napo. So what I did basically is I attacked Menacing Orc with my first attack, and I used my Strong Blizzard Bird's ability. Is you can pay 3 to give one of your beings +1 in any of its attacks or defense options until end of turn. And basically, instead of 2, this is a 3 attack, and Menacing Orc can only defend for 1, so 3 minus 1 is 2. It dies. Um, I think that's the only thing. And this was pretty damn stupid because Fairy of the Arb attacked and like basically its attack did nothing. But well, sometimes you make mistakes, right? Let's go to the next turn. I draw. I don't know why. Okay. Oh, okay, so things got even better because Benevolent Dracania. It's a very powerful card that I cannot activate because I'm dumb. And why cannot activate it? Oh, actually, I can, right? Yeah. So I cannot activate it right now. I thought and this is very important when you build a deck, because you have to remember that some cards you have to have two different sources of the same color. In this case, Benevolent Dracania, it needs three of any color plus one earth. I mean, sorry, two earth sources. Right now, I only have fire sources, but I have one here that I haven't activated. So basically, in order to put this very powerful card, I need to activate this Sprint of Fate card. But in order to do that, uh, as I said, Sprint of Fate is better. Like it's a more of a defensive card. Like I could activate to attack and give my cards an extra counter, but it's way more powerful if I choose to defend with it, because my opponent will attack and maybe even spend some energy, more some seals attacking, and then I can just activate the Spring of Fate, choose my being, move it one block or whatever amount of blocks the being can move, and basically my opponent spend their seal and they didn't attack. So anyway, I need to use it if I want to activate Summon Benevolent Arcania next turn. So anyway, what I want to do is, how many beings do I have right now? I have Napu, and I have I think it's Napu and my Tang RJPJ. So that's two beings, right? Am I not missing any other? No, I only have two beings. So my first attack does 2 damage. So I could maybe uh so 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm gonna. The bad news is that Tank RJPA cannot attack right now. But I think I could kill. 1, 2. I could maybe move it here and put Napo here so they only move. Uh, mm, so I think that's what I'm gonna try to do. Mm, okay, so yeah, 1, 2. So the problem with Beverly Hills Goblin also is that it's like a glass cannon. As you can see, it only has 1 HP, so it's pretty easy to be killed. That's one of its drawbacks, but it's also very powerful. So what should I do? What should I do? I think I want to play Plart and also this same turn, or maybe next turn activate Sprint of Fate. But what I really want to do is kill this thing. Maybe put my tank here, and if I put it here, it's gonna be blocking. Although I won't be able to kill this thing, and what should I do? Decisions. Maybe I can even kill this thing, right? I could try to kill this thing. They don't have any seal left. I think I could kill it. I think I can probably kill both of them. Weakness. I think I can do it, right? Okay, I think I got it. I think I finally got it. yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. Look, it's a masterful play. So first of all, I'm gonna move Napo here and attack with its let's see, the first attack option doesn't really matter because like Fairy of the Arp, like it's the same. So I'm gonna attack with this first attack option, which is 0/1. It's gonna deal 1 damage, and my opponent can choose to block or not to block. It's pretty dumb if they choose not to block because there is nothing else that realistically could attack Fairy of the Arp this turn. So they are gonna choose to block, and they only have 0 seal. They don't have any seal, so they are gonna choose to block for 0, which is 1, right? But now I'm gonna activate my 1, 2, 3, my Ball Plart. And remember, what Ball Plart does is that it gets +1 in any of stat of my choosing until end of turn. So I give +1 to my first attack of Napo. So now it's not a 0/1 attack, it's a 0/2 attack until end of turn. And now I activate my Sprint of Fate. And I'm gonna pay 3. I'm gonna pay 2 of any color and 1 of fire, 1 of earth. And remember, when you reveal the card, you can use it to pay its seal cost. So I use Sprint of Fate as its own earth source. So basically, what it does is add a +1 counter to target being on your under your control. That +1 counter can be in anything. And also, if this card was activated during your opponent's turn, their target being can move. So I activated on my turn, so it was a little bit less powerful, but still very powerful. So I'm gonna put a +1 counter in Napo, and I'm gonna choose its first attack option. So, and remember, it's a counter, so it's gonna be permanent. And remember, okay, so I'm gonna explain what this card actually does. The +1 counter can be in anything. But how do +1 counters work in this game? So basically, you can choose 8 different options. You can choose the first attack. So if I chose the first attack, it will be a 0/2 attack. The second attack will be a 0/2 attack. The third attack will be a 1/3 attack. It means I will have to pay 1 seal, and it will do 3 damage because that's where the +1 counter is in the attack. I can also choose to put a +1 counter in the movement. So instead of moving 3 blocks, it will move 4 blocks. I can also put it in the defense options. So I can put it in the first option of defense. So if I do that, it will be 0/2. The second option of the defense will be a 0/2. Or I could put it in the third option. So it will be instead of a 1/2, it will be 1/3. Or I can even put the +1 counter in the HP. So instead of having 2 HP, Napo will have 3 HP. But right now, since I want to kill this Fire of the Arp, I'm going to put it in the first attack. So Napo now has 3 in the first attack, and Fairy of the Arp can only defend for 1. So it dies because it has 2 HP and 3 minus 1 is 2. It dies. So that's pretty nice. I think I forgot something. What was I gonna do? So I killed that thing off. And now I want to kill this thing, right? Mermaid of Miller. Oh yeah, I forgot. So yeah, basically I have 3 beings now, so I can kill Mermaid of Miller with my 0 attack. That's why I summoned Ball Plart. But actually, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I attack with the first attack option. It's 0/3 because I have 3 different beings, and they don't have any seals, so it dies because it can only defend for 1, and it has 2 HP, right? Yeah, it dies. It doesn't have any resistance, no. And now what I want to do is 1, 2, 3, and put Paul Blart here, and that's it, I think. And next turn, I could activate Tank RJPJ's Mount ability, put these 2 cards together, move them here, or I could even not do that. I could even just move Tank RJPJ here to block them, and you can either win by, like making the opponent's life 0, sorry. But also, if you put 3 cards in their summoning zone, like the game is pretty much over, unless they have very powerful hazard cards or Zeitgeist cards. But anyway, I'm gonna pass my turn. That's continue. So my opponent, the opponent draws a card. It's a very weak card. So they definitely want to use a spin of Tusk to get rid of that card because it's very weak. As I said, some of the cards that are like one, like cost one, like they're good for the first turn. They're actually very powerful cards if if you pick them in the first turn. Some of them, like Napo or Surprise Pelican. But right now, Surprise Pelican wouldn't do a lot because like it's too weak. Its Solitude ability will be too weak, etc. Remember, Napo was very powerful in the first couple of turns that I used it. Like it had a lot. Like it drew me through card 3 or 4, or even I don't remember. But like even if it drew only one card, it was very powerful. So anyway, this is the opponent's turn. They have this card, and Brain Freeze is a very powerful card. Very very powerful. The problem is that they don't have like a lot of other cards. So and yeah, like look, the game is it's almost over. There's not much the opponent can do. But anyway, what they can do is play Spin of Tusk. They're gonna pay 1, 2, 3, 4, leaving blue and a wind, like water and wind source. And when Spin of Tusks attack, you may draw a card, then discard a card. Actually, I think I confused I confused the effect. I thought when it was summoned, I thought that was the effect, but it's when it attacks. Can I kill Napo? I don't think I can kill it. Damn, Spin of Tusk really kind of sucks. I need to change it. I think the game's like over. Basically, there's not much the opponent can do. They have. Mm, Actually, they can. They could probably. Because the thing is, they want to. If you want to, you use Brain Freeze, you probably want to pay the extra, seal to do it. So I think right now they should probably be defensive. That's the only thing they can really do, which kind of sucks. But I think they should probably, yeah, be in the defensive. So they're gonna end their turn, and next turn they're gonna use this card finally to do that. So yeah, but the game is over basically. There is unless something terrible happens, but I'm in pretty good shape. And this card, let's read this card because it's one of those it's a super rare card and it's very powerful. So basically, it has strict. That means it can be played in the opponent's turn. And when this being enters the field, choose two target beings. So basically, it gives +1 to two target beings in any country, in any state of my choosing. So it's a very powerful card. It's one of those cards that wins you games, basically. And as I said, the game it's basically over because I mean it's yeah 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Uh-huh. Yeah, the game is basically over because what's gonna happen is 1, 2, 3. Let's see, 1, 2. Okay, so I could do 1, 2, 3. I could play it slow, but I don't see any reason to. Um, I think I should go fast. 1, 2, 3. Sadly, there is no way to invade this block. Um, so the opponent wants to play this, but the thing is, if they, for example, if Spin of Tusk is left there is nothing they're gonna be able. Like they cannot do anything. Let's suppose I put this card here. They can only attack Napo with Spin of Tusk, and so yeah. Um. So anyway, what I'm gonna do is, what should I do? Napo actually haven't moved it, so I have a lot of options. But I mean, the game is, maybe I can even kill the opponent. How much life does it? Well, it has 9. No, it's not. It's difficult. It's not possible. Unless three, three. They have to seal. So anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move Napo. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. And yeah, I think I'm gonna just go for the kill. I don't think they can win anyway, so just gonna try to go for the kill. Uh, so Napo has +1 in its first attack, so I attack for 2. Or should I have attacked this thing? No, I think I'm gonna attack my opponent. So they have 9, they go to 7, and then I think I'm gonna play Benevolent Arcania to give my Beverly Hills Goblin 1, 2. So yeah, I'm just gonna put Tank RJPA here, and I'm gonna activate its ability. So I pay 1 of fire, and I tap it, and I can deal 1 damage to any target within 2 orthogonal blocks. I choose my opponent as the target, so I deal 1 damage. That's 6. And what I do is I'm also preventing a Spin of Tusks from doing anything basically, because remember, a Spin of Tusk has 3 attacks. It has a brain attack, which is basically psychic, and it has elemental. The second attack is elemental, which is also a long range attack. So what I'm trying to say is they are not going to be able to attack my tank. They could only attack a card here in this spot or attack a card in this spot. But they can also attack Napo. Remember, it's 1 block away. They could attack something here, something here, something here, or something here, but they cannot attack something that is touching them, that is next to them. Um, so well, what I'm gonna do now is, let's see. So maybe 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. How much HP do they life points? They have 6. Why is this card? I haven't attacked with it, right? So 1. Let me think a bit. 1, 2, 3, 5. I think I can kill them. 1, 2. Actually, they had, okay. They have 2 seal left. Mm. And they cannot even activate this card. I mean, they could activate it, but they might as well probably activate it, but no, because it says choose a target being. You can move that thing, but that being 1 block. That's used to defend basically. But Spin of Toss cannot move because they're like it cannot move anywhere, so they cannot activate. I mean, they could activate it. It's not gonna do anything, but like if they needed to have an open win source next turn, they could activate it. But yeah, okay. So anyway, so I move my goblins, and 1, 2. I have 1, 2, 3 beings, but I'm gonna play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I pay 5, 3 seal of any kind, and 2 green. And I'm gonna play my Dracania. And what the Dracania does, 1, 2. Actually, I could do a couple of things with Dracania, but yeah. So what my Dracania does is that it gives a +1 counter to 2 target beings. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it a +1 counter to itself in its first attack option. And the first attack option, it's a long range attack. So you're gonna see what I'm gonna do. So right now it has a +1 in its first attack option, and I'm gonna give my Beverly Hills Goblin a +1 counter. And I'm gonna copy this dice. Yeah, where is it? Oh, um, so yeah, I don't know why I didn't copy, but let me try to copy or clone. Okay, yeah. So how do I deactivate it? Okay, so okay, one. I'm having a lot of trouble to end the game. Okay, so yeah, right now my goblins have Nap also had one, right? So they have a +1 in the first attack. So I have one being, two beings, three beings, four different beings, and I also have a +1. So basically, they deals 5 damage for zero seal. So that's incredible. So as you can see, this card, even though it costed one, I have been, like it has been gaining strength throughout the game, and it's gonna finish because right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attack for 5. It cost me zero seal 5. So my opponent has 6 damage, that 6 life points. It goes to 1. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move Boltard here, and I'm gonna move my Darkania 1, 2, 3. And remember, usually the strongest the card is, the more it moves. Most of the cards move only 2 spots, but if it costs 5 or 4 seal, it usually moves 3. So anyway, my Darkania. Oh, what did I do? My Darkania is gonna end the game because I just have to attack for 1. And since it has a long range attack, it has the bow attack. The first attack option is a bow. I'm gonna finish the game. I attack for 2, actually for 3, because I gave it the counter. The counter, it says when this being enters the field, choose up to 2 target beings. Target beings get +1. So it can even choose itself. So I attack, and it's game over for my opponent. It's 0. Well, the dice doesn't have 0. So that was my first playthrough of the game. It lasted a while. How much did it last? Let me see. Wow, 2 hours, 27 minutes. That's long. But yeah, this game is long. Uh, but yeah, thanks for watching.